Caroline.
How's it going, Joe?
Good.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Perfect.
Let's go back a bit. Let's go really far back. Your earliest, most vivid surfing memory.
It's funny because I used to ride horses a lot, and that's kind of what I remember doing when I was little, to be honest, not really surfing. My oldest brother actually was like the surfer in the family, and I was just the farm girl and rode horses, and that's kind of just what I did. But I guess my first memory on a surfboard was just kind of surfing behind my house in Florida and just kind of wanting to be like my brothers. Like, that's it. Just coming and crying if I didn't hit a section that they wanted me to. Like, that's my memory of like growing up and surfing in Florida. But yeah, it was cool. Like, we were able to walk to the beach, and you'd surf with like your school teachers. You know, it was a small little town I grew up in, so that was really cool. And I guess that's like really my first memory of surfing and starting this whole journey.
I love these early stories. I mean, you did mention coming crying. Were you a good sport when you were playing games with your siblings?
Not really, no. I would have a meltdown and not be stoked, and it'd be like this huge family talk at dinner. And I don't know if it was because I was a sore loser. I think it was maybe just because I hated that feeling so much.
Because your brothers wanted a lot out of you, right? The way to help you surf and not hold back, and they expected a lot out of your performance, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the time I was like, gosh, you guys are so mean, but now I'm like grateful for it, because I feel like I wouldn't really be in the position I am without them at all. I don't even know if I would have started surfing if it wasn't for my brothers. It really all just stemmed from wanting to be like them. And I've always loved the ocean, and always thought surfing was really cool, but I just kind of did it because they did it, you know?
I think we're finding something here, how special your family is to you. I feel like
They gotta come everywhere.
your brothers are like good luck charms, aren't they? Like,
Yeah.
it seems like they're at every win, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually, my oldest brother Luke hasn't been to an event since the Gold Coast, and he came to El Salvador this year, and I was talking to Seth, because you know he knows he's surfing against those guys a little bit, and so he was like, if you win this event, they got to come everywhere. And so I ended up winning, which was crazy. I'm like, my brother's 2 for 2 with me, so that's pretty funny. But yeah, I just think I feel like I do my best surfing when I'm just kind of happy and in a good mindset, and so when I'm around them, they're like my best friends, and so it just keeps everything lighthearted and fun, and yeah, it just makes me, I don't know, surf better maybe, I don't know, just good vibes, yeah.
What a good feeling.
For sure.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Looking at kind of since you qualified as a rookie, how much have you grown, you know, in that time?
Yeah, wow, yeah, it's been, we've been through a pandemic. I took most of the year off last year. Been to the Olympics. There's been a lot that's happened, for sure. And I think this last year, you know, when I kind of took a lot of time off, I think that's when I feel like I've grown the most and kind of learned the most about myself. I think for me, what I learned a lot, which I've been doing a little bit differently this year, is kind of bringing friends or family to like every event. You know, I think that's really important to kind of have that support system, and I had that a lot my rookie year, and then I kind of was like, oh, I got it, you know, like after that. This year I just made sure to kind of just bring just a friend or family member, and I feel like that's been really fun to kind of have, you know, a little piece of home on the road with you, and it's just made everything a little bit better, I guess.
I'm sure when you're accomplishing so much and you're so driven as an athlete, as a human, that must have been a really challenging decision to make, to take a break. Was it your decision, or was it like a collective decision with your support group?
Yeah, I think it was something that like had to happen, and definitely was like a collective decision, but everyone was like on the same page of like, this is the right thing to do. And I think in the moment, you know, when I was away from the tour and watching the events, every moment felt like an eternity. It sucked. I was like, this is a bummer. Like, I want to be there. You know, obviously the tour is so fun. It's where I want to be. And it's like, I feel like what I'm meant to do is compete. And I'm such a competitor at heart and love surfing so much. So to kind of take a break from that was like, obviously really hard. How
have you learned to go, I'm allowed to have my own life and then sort of my professional life? Have you been able to navigate that really well?
I think that's like probably the hardest part for me, is like, you're obviously on this like journey where I just want to accomplish my goals so bad, and like anyone that's going to get in the way of that, you know, you kind of have to eliminate from your life. And so it can be, yes, it sounds really selfish, but it's true, you know. So I do feel like now I have a lot better balance than I used to. I'm like, it's okay to do it all, you know. You can have fun and also be the most hardworking person in the room. So yeah, I do feel like I got a good balance. Definitely don't have it figured out, but I feel like in a good spot with it right now. So yeah.
Fun part is figuring it out, right?
Right, exactly, yeah.
You've seen a lot in a short period of time, you know, looking at the last handful of years. How would you describe the state of the tour now and what kind of surfing is happening on the big stage?
Yeah, I think the first couple years on tour, I feel like it was just kind of like me, and then like the next gap of girls were like quite a bit older than me, and it was just kind of everybody else that I looked up to, you know, when I was growing up. So I feel like now there's a lot, you know, more younger girls that are around my age, and yeah, I feel like there's kind of a new generation coming up and starting to, you know, take over, and starting to get in a mix with like the older girls, which is really cool. So yeah, it's awesome to be a part of, it's awesome to see, and I do feel like I have seen a lot in a short amount of time. I think sometimes people forget, like, they're like, oh, you're a veteran. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm 21, like 21-year-old veteran. I think it's kind of funny. Yeah, I just try to take it as a compliment, but it's really cool to see, and you know, I think it's just going to keep, the progression is just going to keep getting better and better, and I'm excited to see it and be a part of it, and it should be fun.
Is this a year where we're going to have a new champion? I mean, think about the last 15 years. 3 surfers. You know, it's Carissa, Steph, Tyler.
Wow, it's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is that going to change this year?
I think there's a chance, yeah. Obviously, you know, Carissa is in really good form this year, and Steph, obviously what she did last year was incredible, and Tyler too, like all those girls I have so much respect for, and they're so gnarly and been dominating for years and years. But yeah, look, they're definitely gonna be a new champion this year, and we'll see. I guess we'll see in September.
Rip Curl WSL Finals is a pretty amazing, intense format. You looking at where you are right now, what do you think about the format?
Yeah, I think obviously it's really exciting. I think it brings a lot of drama. And it's really cool. It's at Trestles. Like, selfishly, that's in my backyard. So I don't know. I haven't been in the finals yet. So I think if you are in that #1 spot, you do have to be really strong-minded, because you are watching someone win heats before you, and kind of already in this rhythm, you know? So I think kind of when you come in lower, you kind of have a bit of an underdog, and you're kind of just like, okay, like everything kind of has to go right for me to win. Where if you're first, you do have everything to lose, you know, and you really have to be on that day. And so but at the same time, it's such an advantage because you only have to win 2 heats. So I don't know. It's obviously super exciting, and it's pretty crazy to think you can win from 5th, and lose at first, you know. So there's a lot of scenarios that can happen.
Do you have an event on the calendar that you're like, I can't wait for this one, and kind of put yourself in the moment of like, I could win that event before the season starts?
Yeah, it would be really cool to win a wave like Tahiti, just skip barreled and win would be super cool. So yeah, there's a few that are exciting for sure.
Caroline, I'm so proud of you for everything you do for surfing, who you are as a person, reminding us to grow as well. You're an inspiration, and I can't wait to see you put the jersey on again.
Thanks, Joe. This was fun. Yay!
Yeah!